What is going on, YouTube? Espresso Shucko here, and today we are hitting the Reg G ranked ladder here with this Miraidon and Sceptile team. So we have a Scope Lens on Miraidon, and we have Dragon Cheer on Sceptile. I'm not gonna lie, Sceptile, bit of a pain to use. But it's an Unburden Pokemon, so we're going to have that Electric Seed in hand, and then we're going to try to make Sceptile cause some shenanigans. And by that, I mean making sure that Miraidon's hits are of the critical variety. Because basically right here, Dragon Cheer raises the Dragon type target's critical hit ratio 2 stages, and the Scope Lens is also raising our critical hit ratio up 1. So basically Miraidon's going to be doing a lot of damage, more than it normally does, with the guaranteed critical hits. We have Electro Drift for the single target option, we have Discharge for the spread option, and then we have Draco Meteor to do a lot of damage to stuff that would otherwise be able to take an electric type attack comfortably. Now, the one problem with Draco Meteor, though, is it's not 100% accurate. It's 90 accurate, and I'm pretty sure during the 2024 World Championships, yeah, there was a little bit of controversy there about a Draco Meteor not landing when it was supposed to or something like that. Anyways, you know, we're going to play that game today. We're going to see if Draco Meteor lands. As far as the rest of the team goes, we have Ursaluna Bloodmoon here to stand next to Miraidon while it goes for Discharge without terastallizing, so that we don't have to worry about hitting ourselves with the ground typing here. We have the Hyper Voice option for spread damage. We have Earth Power to hit steel types for massive damage, since steel types are pretty much the only thing that can really resist my normal type attacks. Well, rock types too, but anyways, we have the Earth Power there to hit rock and steel types, and then we have Earth Power to do a lot of damage. And if we do need to terastallize, well, we do have Terra Normal on our Blood Moon, and we have a Life Orb to boost up our damage output just a little bit further. We have Farigiraf here with a Trick Room option for the Ursaluna here. We also have Terra Ground here, and then that way too, if we need another Pokemon to just stand next to Miraidon while it goes for Discharge, we do have that option here with Farigiraf. And plus, we also do have Ground type Terra Blast, which could be great for dealing with Zamazenta and Zacian. Not that I've run into Zacian since the format has started back up again, but it's there just in case. We also have Helping Hand there to boost up Miraidon's attacks even further if the critical hit variety wasn't enough already, but we do have that. We have Incineroar here to do what Incineroar does best. We have Fake Out support right here. We have Parting Shot to pivot in, Intimidate. We have Knockoff to remove items, and then we have Flare Blitz to do some massive damage. And then finally, we have Iron Bundle here. I'm going to try out Iron Bundle here with Icy Wind and Freeze Dry. We have Protect here just in case we need to survive a hit, and then we have Encore in case someone tries to set up in front of Iron Bundle. We can just block them into that and be a bit of a nuisance. So that is the team in a nutshell. Let's jump right on in to some battles. All right, we've got a Calyrex Ice Rider team with Tinglu, Farigiraf, Incineroar, Iron Hands, and Among Us. All right, so definitely not the greatest way for Miraidon, or greatest thing for Miraidon to deal with, but it is what it is. But you know what? I think this should be okay. I think what we can try to do is we can try to get Miraidon set up with Sceptile and Dragon Cheer, potentially. Though I don't like that. I think I kind of want to just focus more on the damage output. I think maybe what we might have to do is I think we might have to go Incin and Miraidon right out of the gate. Flare Blitz Knockoff could be solid options out of Incin. Sceptile actually does kind of like the Tinglu. Not gonna lie. Sceptile does actually kind of like that. Yeah, okay, you know what? Maybe what I'll do, I'll bring Farigiraf Miraidon. Maybe Sceptile, and I think we'll bring Incin in the back. I kind of wanted to see if I could squeeze an Iron Bundle, and then I could have potentially encored the Calyrex, but knowing my luck, they'd go Glacial Lance instead of Trick Room. Yeah, that'd probably be my my problem there. But you know what? That's fine. We have Terra Ground on the... Interesting. Okay. I do have Terra Ground on the Farigiraf. And they can't intimidate my Miraidon. So in theory, I guess I could just go straight Discharge. Although I did not bring the Bloodmoon, so I can't safely do that. I mean, I could Terra Electric. This is awkward. You know what? We'll just Electro Drift. And we'll Hyper Voice. Yeah, they're just going to withdraw their Farigiraf. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Tinglu's coming in here, but Helping Hand, Electro Drift. That's not great for the Incineroar. Or Hyper Voice. Yeah, I want Hyper Voice. Never mind. I didn't go Helping Hand. Okay, Incine's going to take that, but you know what? That's a respectable amount of damage. And I don't dislike the idea of being able to just pivoting out Miraidon into Sceptile and getting a Electric Seed. I mean, I don't hate that. They're going to knock off my Farigiraf too, which is nice. So I already used my item. So that, yeah, that's less damage output right there. Tinglu is going to provide some trouble, but I think what I could do is I could switch Incin in. And yeah, I think switching in Incineroar could be okay, but you know what? Actually, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to Draco Meteor into the Tinglu, and I think I'm going to Hyper Voice. Or not Hyper Voice, Helping Hand. Too many H's. Yeah, too many H's. And the reason why I'm not switching is, while I would love to get Sceptile up here, I don't necessarily have the damage output to take out the Farigiraf on my opponent's side of the field with Sceptile, so I would love to get as much damage off as possible into the Tinglu. And honestly, that's a tremendous amount of damage right there, which is great. I'm going to take another knockoff, which is going to keep my Farigiraf around for one more turn. Ruination is coming out here, which is going to just sap half of my HP, but honestly, that's not the end of the world. Because what I can do here is I can just Electro Drift into you and Hyper Voice, and I think that's it. That might be enough to get the Tinglu off the field. Yeah. Electro Drift into... Oh, Tinglu's going to withdraw. Even better. Okay. So Hyper Voice is going to do a lot of damage. And getting Electro Drift into the Incin is okay. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Incin, and then I could always just bring in my own Incineroar. And having that to deal with Calyrex might be okay. I also don't really love the idea of having to deal with... Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. That caught me off guard. Incineroar switching in for Miraidon might be okay here. Yeah, that might be okay. Because I don't think Miraidon really has enough damage out here to stop the Calyrex. But the nice thing here too is I think at +1, Terra Blast might be enough to knock out their Farigiraf, depending on if they go for Trick Room or not. So getting my own Incineroar in here might be okay, and then trying to just stall out the Trick Room might be what's needed. And plus, Tinglu's gone, too. Like, they withdrew the Tinglu, so I don't have to worry about Vessel of Ruin, just lowering my damage output. So, a single target... oh, they're going to switch out the Farigiraf, okay. Well, Tinglu's going to eat a... Tinglu's going to eat a Terra Blast. Which, you know what? I don't dislike. I really don't dislike that. If they go Trick Room with Calyrex, great. If they don't, well, Miraidon can come back in. Terra Grass is also really good to see here. Honestly, Flare Blitz and... Flare Blitz and Acrobatics off Sceptile might be okay. If they just went for Ooh, they did just go for Glacial Lance. Okay. I do lose my Farigiraf, but now I get to... I do get to bring in my Miraidon or my Sceptile. Yeah, so I think what I can do here is I think I can knock off into the Farigiraf. And I can go for the Acrobatics into the Ice Rider. Yeah, I think I can do that. The double up is blatantly obvious, so my opponent might just protect the Calyrex. And if they Trick Room with Calyrex instead, well, Incin doesn't take any damage, which is great. Oh, this is going to hurt. Okay, this is going to hurt a lot, but we going to do a little chunk. Oh, I was not expecting a berry there. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit scary. I was not expecting Colbur Berry. Glacial Lance is going to hurt Incin a lot, but I get to keep it, which is nice. The critical hit did not matter in Sceptile. Flare Blitz will outspeed, or not Flare Blitz. Calyrex will get outsped by Incin unless there's some weird speed dynamic here. So in theory, I could Electro Drift Flare Blitz. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think Flare Blitz into the Calyrex is okay, and I think I just Electro Drift. Yeah, I think that's okay here. I don't... Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, there's the Protect off the Calyrex. I'm going to get my Electro Drift off into Farigiraf, and then I have my Flare Blitz. So this should be alright. Because then what I can do here is I could just go Draco Meteor and Flare Blitz into the Calyrex, and that should be enough damage. Yeah, because Farigiraf, Incin, and Tinglu are all gone. It's just the Calyrex. I think I'm okay. And plus, I just reset my electric terrain, so Miraidon should be in an alright position. Now, Draco Meteor is going to miss, so we are putting a lot of pressure onto Incineroar right here. But it's unfortunately not enough. Yeah, I guess I should have went the safe route there with the... Yeah, that's hurt. That's painful to watch. I guess what I should have did was I should have went Electro Drift into the Calyrex just to have the chip damage, and then the Flare Blitz would have sealed the deal. Unfortunately, Draco Meteor is not a guaranteed hit. So, yeah. That stings a little bit. But at the end of the day, very close game. We did a tremendous amount of damage to the Farigiraf with the +1 Hyper Voice, and the Tinglu, ironically enough, taking the Draco Meteor in the helping hand. That did do a lot of damage at the end of the day. So, you know what? It sucks, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. Pokemon can be Pokemon. Anyways, good game to my opponent. Okay, we have Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Kyogre, Therian Form Thundurus, and actually we have all three of the original genies. We don't have the Enamorous, but we have Therian Tornadus, Therian Landorus, Therian Thundurus, and Fluttermane. Okay. So at least there's some fairy representation there. Okay. Well, outside of the two ground types, Miraidon looks phenomenal. Yeah, Miraidon looks good. I think Sceptile looks good too. I think I'm going to bring the Bundle in the back. Bundle will definitely scare... I do have Ice Coverage, which is nice. I also have Freeze Dry. Ooh, you know what? Bundle looks wonderful, but we're going to keep it in the back. I'm thinking if... I'm not seeing Trick Room outside of potentially Fluttermane. So I'm thinking that's a fast Ursaluna rather than a slow one too. So that could be a little bit precarious. But you know what? Should be all right. I'm going to bring my Farigiraf in the back just in case. And then that way I have Hyper Voice with a Throat Spray to boost it up. I have Helping Hand if I need it. If Bundle has to come in, Bundle has the Icy Wind as some spread, while it has Freeze Dry to do some super effective damage. The nice thing too about Kyogre is Kyogre likes to run Terra Grass, so okay. We've got Landorus and Tornadus into Sceptile and Miraidon. Alright, so will you land Draco Meteor? Will you land and will you be enough? That's the real question here. The Intimidate is not great into Sceptile, but we're gonna try the Dragon Cheer. We're gonna try that, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna Dragon Cheer our Miraidon, and then we should have a guaranteed critical hit with this Draco Meteor. And if it connects, wonderful. If it doesn't, well, sad Shaco noises. Yeah. Okay, anyways, let's see what happens here. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah. I just don't want Draco Meteor to miss. I also don't want it to be weak enough to not knock out Landorus, too. That's the other thing. If this is Bloodmoon, okay, that is... It's a good thing I didn't go for the Electro Drift. Alright, so Miraidon is Dragon Cheered. Let's see how much this Draco Meteor does. It does connect. Whew! And there we go. One shot the Landorus right there. Bloodmoon is here. Bloodmoon is not here for a good time. Let's just put it that way, folks. I kind of want to protect Miraidon. And I kind of want Sceptile to do a little bit of damage to something. Because what I'm thinking is if Kyogre comes in here, I would love to try to Leaf Blade the Bloodmoon. And if Kyogre comes in here, I kind of want to see if I can bait out a Terra Grass. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. It's just going to be Tornadus coming back. Okay. So, I am going to protect Miraidon here. And I'm going to Leaf Blade into the Bloodmoon because really they shouldn't want to Terra their Bloodmoon unless they're Terra Ground. That said, we're getting a Terra. Okay. What is the Terra going to be? Oh, it's Bloodmoon. Okay, never mind. Terra Fairy. Okay. Kind of glad I baited that out because now I can just discharge. I can discharge and do so much damage. Yeah, we're just going to protect Miraidon here. Tailwind could be a little bit spooky, but you know what? That's fine. We're not going to do any real damage to the Bloodmoon here, but that's fine. Interesting. It was Moonblast. Okay. Now, they might being the key word. They might Earth Power, which would make this a really bad idea. But if they don't, this is going to be great. And I'm going to Detect with Sceptile here. Yeah, I want to see if I can catch them on the discharge. I'm hoping I'm fast enough to outspeed the Bloodmoon still. Because I'm Scope Lens, so yeah, it's not like I have any speed modifiers from a Choice Scarf here, so I might still be a little bit slow. I'm kind of hoping I can take a double up with Miraidon. Earth Power would really suck, though. We'll Detect with Sceptile here. We'll go for the Discharge. And Bleak Wind Storm is going to come out. Miraidon's going to resist that, which is nice. The Moment of Truth will be if Miraidon moves before Ursaluna or not. Okay, great. We do get to move before them. We still have Electric Train powering this up. And we have double stab off the discharge too. So that should be... Yeah, that's great. All right. Guaranteed critical hits. All right. Goodbye, Ursaluna. Goodbye, Tornadus. If they have Thunderous Therian, I can't go for an electric type attack though, because that thing has Volt Absorb. So I'll have to rely on Draco Meteor, which is a little bit scary, but you know what? I can live with that because it's Kyogre. Okay. Kyogre is here. Kyogre's here, but they do have Tailwind up, so I'm going to see if I can outspeed them just to get a little bit chip off so that Water Spout just doesn't necessarily do... Nope, they're gonna outspeed Sceptile. Okay, so the Kyogre is fast enough to outspeed Sceptile even with the Unburden boost. Sceptile survives though, which is great. Man, even with a -1 attack, that is great work, Sceptile. That is great work. Okay, we're gonna Electro Drift, and we are going to Leaf Blade. Okay. Miraidon gets to survive. Unfortunately, Sceptile is going down there, but with only 40 HP, that kind of made sense. Yeah, so anyways, I'm actually rather impressed with how much Sceptile did to the Kyogre there. I mean, Kyogre only does have 90 defense, which I'm fairly certain Sceptile has 85 attack, so a super effective hit off a max attack Sceptile. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And honestly, at -1, I'm kind of wondering what that would have been at neutral. Yeah, because we did at least 50% at -1. That's wild. Anyways, enough about that though. Good game to my opponent. Okay, we've got a Kyogre with Hisuian Gudra, Scizor, Tornadus, Archaludon, and Kilowattrel. Now, Kilowattrel is a problem. Yeah, that is a problem if that is a Volt Absorb Kilowattrel. Especially if it's Volt Absorb Terra Fairy, then I'm kind of up the creek. That said, Sceptile does not look awful. I can bring Miraidon. And I think I go for the Trick Room mode in the back. I think I bring Farigiraf, and I think I bring the Bloodmoon. I think that's what we do. The Hisuian Gudra can be very, very scary if they start getting some shelters up. I'm kind of hoping I get Tornadus Kyogre right out of the gate, and then I could just maybe try to Dragon Cheer them. Or Dragon Cheer Discharge. If I get Archaludon out of the gate, that's good too. Yeah, Archaludon out of the gate might not be bad. It's Kilowattrel, Hisuian Gudra. Okay. I'm going to Dragon Cheer Miraidon. I'm also going to Draco Meteor that Gudra right out of the gate. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I don't love the idea of them getting a Tailwind up, but I think that's kind of my... I think I kind of have to get rid of the Gudra first. Because if Gudra starts setting up, that's going to be really scary. Let's see here. What is the... It's the Gudra. Okay. Terra Ground. Okay. Not what I was necessarily expecting, but I can work with that. Because I do have the Leaf Blade on my Sceptile. Now, if they go ground-type attack into Miraidon, that's a little bit scary. Hurricane into Sceptile. Okay. No Tailwind. Bloodmoon can come in and do some damage. How much damage am I going to do to that Gudra? Nice. Okay. Their Terra is gone. I can bring in Farigiraf. Miraidon went after the Kilowattrel. So Kilowattrel's probably going to outspeed me. If this is Kyogre, I'm not in a good position here. It's Archaludon. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I am going to Trick Room. And I am going to Draco Meteor the Archaludon. because I am genuinely scared of that Kilowatt roll, not going to lie. Yeah, there's Tailwind. Yeah, but I don't think our Chaladon can one-shot Farigiraf. Oh, it's going to go for Miraidon anyways. Yeah, that's terrifying. But we just one-shot them back, so... Yeah, okay. Miraidon is out taking names with the guaranteed crits, and we're going to get Trick Room up too, so... If Kyogre comes in here, awesome. Bloodmoon can do a lot of damage, and I can Hyper Voice. I can Hyper Voice and Electro Drift into the last slot. Yeah, it's Kyogre. Okay. That I do like to see now. I'm going to Hyper Voice with Farigiraf, and I'm just going to Electro Drift into the Kyogre. They have Tailwind, so in theory, I should be faster than them in Trick Room. And if not, I am definitely going to be faster with Bloodmoon. And plus, I like the idea of getting some damage off of this Kilowatt roll finally. Yeah. No boost, and I already took half its HP. That's great. I don't see this Kyogre being slower than Miraidon, so I should be okay with the Trick Room up. That said, I am taking a Hurricane here. Oh, I live with HP. 8 HP. Okay. We're going to Hyper Voice, and we're going to Electro Drift, and that should be it, in theory. Yeah. Turn 1, Sceptile went down to a Hurricane, but Sceptile getting that Dragon Cheer off into Miraidon is more than what I needed, I guess. They went for the double protect and didn't get it, so I'm going to get the Hyper Voice off first. So Kilowatt roll is gone, and Miraidon is going to clean up with the Electro Drift. So we don't even get to bring out the Bloodmoon, which is great. And that was an awkward animation there. I think my Switch is struggling now. Yeah, that's either my Switch or my recording software. But yeah, anyways. That said, we got to pick up the Kyogre. Farigiraf getting that Trick Room up was definitely what we needed, and our Chaladon not picking up the KO with the Dragon Pulse definitely helped, for sure. Very happy about how that worked out. Again, like I said, Sceptile getting that Dragon Cheer off was definitely needed to have Miraidon just do as much absurd damage as possible. Anyways, good game to my opponent. Alright, we've got Zamazenta, Raging Bolt, Ogerpon, Rillaboom, Chi-Yu, and Tornadus. Alright. Dragon Cheer might be fun here. Yeah, Dragon Cheer might be fun. The Rillaboom I gotta be a little bit weary of, but you know what? I think maybe what I do is I think I lead Incin instead. I think I lead Incin Sceptile. Actually... Yeah, actually, I think... No, I think I can lead Incin Sceptile, because what I can do is I can bring Farigiraf in the back, and then I think I just go for Miraidon. Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't think I need Iron Bundle. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Let's see here. What are we going to get? We have Chi-Yu and Tornadus. All right. We have Incin and Sceptile coming in. Chi-Yu is very, very scary for Sceptile here, but honestly, Tornadus doesn't... Yeah, I don't think I'm too weary of Tornadus right now. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to hard switch in Miraidon, and I think I'm just going to go for the Dragon Cheer. Yeah. And then this way, too, if... ooh, okay. Chi-Yu is going to switch out. Great. Let's see right here. Can I get Rillaboom? I get Zamazenta. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Zamazenta is coming in here. I do have to be a little bit weary of Wide Guard. But... this looks good. This looks very, very good. Because now we're going to get our Electric Seed off, and now we're going to get our Dragon Cheer into Miraidon. And if they just went for Tailwind, that's okay. They didn't even do that. They went for Protect. Perfect. Very, very free turn right here. So now I get to keep my Sceptile, too, on top of that. Not that Sceptile is going to be doing much here, but I think what we can do here is I think we can just Electro Drift right into the Zamazenta. And I think Sceptile can just try to get a little bit of chip into the Torn with Acrobatics. Because I don't think a Body Press will be enough to knock me out. Yeah, I think this is okay. Because I can always try to get Incineroar in too. Alright, we're going to get Terastallization out. What is it going to be? It's going to be the Zamazenta and Dragon. Okay. Not where I thought that was going, but okay. Okay. There's Tailwind. Body Press is going to hurt now, but you know what? I could always Protect. That's a chunk. Okay. There's the Iron Defense, which is a little bit precarious. Now it's questionable if they can knock me out or not. But what I can do here is I can protect Miraidon, switch in Incin. I have access to Fake Out at that point. I think that's okay. Yeah. Having access to Fake Out would be alright to hit the Zamazenta with. And then I can always try to get it off the field with a Draco Meteor. Let's see. Getting that Torn off the field might be nice too. Now, one thing we do know is they could Wide Guard, but they might not. Because trying to get paralysis off into them could be handy as well. Do I think they have Protect? That's the big thing here. How many turns of Tailwind do we have left to deal with? 2? Okay. What I could do is I could just Fake Out into the Zamas slot and try to Electro Drift Torn. It's same idea, because then I get to stall out their Tailwind that way. Which I don't dislike. Yeah, I don't dislike that at all, actually. Zamazenta switching out is great. Fake Out is going to go into somebody. Not quite sure who yet. Rillaboom, okay. Yeah, okay. Getting rid of Tornadus is nice. Bleak Wind Storm is going to connect. That's a lot of damage into Incin too, surprisingly enough. That was a critical hit, that's why. Okay. Incin takes a speed drop. Miraidon does not. That's great. Alright. The good news here is they do lose all their defense boosts. The bad news, though, is they do have access to Grassy Glide. But, I mean, I could always just bring in Farigiraf. Yeah. I could always bring in Farigiraf. Alright, let's see here. It is Chiyu coming back in. Which, yeah, I definitely want to protect in front of you while you have a turn at Tailwind. And honestly, I just like the idea of going for the Flare Blitz into the Rilla. If Zamazenta comes in here, I mean, I get a little bit of chip damage into them. But they're not going to do that. They might Fake Out into Incin. They went for Dark Pulse into Miraidon, which is okay. High horsepower. Woo, okay. Incin dodged. Incin dodged a hypothetical bullet right there because they just doubled into the Miraidon. Unfortunately, that's not enough to knock out Rillaboom. Yeah, okay. It is enough to put me in my berry range, but you know what? What I could do is I could go Farigiraf and Discharge. I mean, Farigiraf would not be loving that, but at least they can't Grassy Glide me. And the only thing about that, though, is the big thing here is it's a guaranteed critical hit. I don't want Farigiraf taking that. I'll go for knockoff into the Rillaboom, and I'll go for Electro Drift into the Chi-Yu. Rillaboom's going to switch out, so the knockoff into the Terra Dragon Zama is nice. Miraidon's going to take that. Miraidon survives. That's unfortunate that we get the flinch, but... Okay. Chi-Yu just revealed that it's faster than Miraidon. I'm going to protect Miraidon this turn, and I'm going to knock off into Chi-Yu. Because I'm suspecting that might be a Scarf. I think Chi-Yu's normally only 110 speed. I just need Incin to... Ooh, you know what? Terastallizing Incin might have been the better idea here, because, yeah, that could be a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah, I should have terrestrialized. Get rid of... that was a critical hit, though. I don't think of that. I don't think dropping my fighting weakness would have mattered there. Okay. The good news, though, was they didn't do a whole lot to me. So... I think I can go Terra Ground. I think I can discharge. Or a Draco. Yeah, I mean, Draco is probably the way to go. So if I'm right, and that is... If that is Scarf, and I can outspeed with Trick Room, that could be nice too. Yeah, because then I can freely discharge. Or actually, no, I still wouldn't want to do that because of Wide Guard. But what I could do is I could Terra Blast the Zamazenta and just hit it on the special attacking side. So there is that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go Terra Ground, and I just hope they don't Dark Pulse and flinch me. Oh, right, I just went for a Protect. Forgot about that. But at least it's not super effective. They are gonna connect into Farigiraf, though. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. Discharge would have been the way to go after all. Fancy that. Yeah, alright. Grassy Terrain is gone. I do have a full-powered Acrobatics. Not that that's really going to help me in the face of a Chi-Yu. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm going to Draco into you, and no, I think I am going to... Yeah, I think I still have the Draco into you. And I think it is Acrobatics in the Chi-Yu. Yeah, I'm really suspecting that's Scarf. I also really was expecting the Wide Guard to come out there, so... Yeah, they're just Dark Pulsing, so... Okay. I can get rid of Zamazenta finally, which is great. Chi-Yu is also faster than my Sceptile and my Miraidon, so... I could go for the Discharge. At that range, that should be enough. Yeah. We also know they have high horsepower on the Rillaboom, so... I think what I gotta do is, I think I gotta Acrobatics the Rillaboom, and I think I gotta Electro Drift. I think that's the big thing right here, because they do have the Grassy Glide, so they could pick off Sceptile. And Dark Pulse could be Actually, if they pick off Sceptile, that could be okay. We'll see what they want to do first. There's Grassy Glide into Sceptile. Okay. So I think I discharge. I think that's the call here. I think I discharge. They went into the Miraidon slot with the Chi-Yu. So you know what? Yeah. Discharge has a really good para rate, and I'm getting a little bit of HP back. Rillaboom is not going to be able to outspeed me. Chi-Yu can, but Chi-Yu wasn't really doing the most amount of damage. So just in case, I'm gonna... Okay, they went for Sceptile this time. All right. The discharge should still pick up Rillaboom. And it picked up Chi-Yu. Okay, great. All right, perfect. I was a little bit worried about that, but... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a little bit harder to navigate, but we did end up coming through at the end there with the discharge. I'm glad they ended up going for Sceptile with the Dark Pulse, because, I mean, they still had the 20% chance to make me flinch. And if they had gotten another flinch into Miraidon, that would have been really bad. But, I mean, the fact that we were able to connect with the discharge right there at the end and just pick up the double with the critical hits, that worked out really nice at the end of the day. So, good game to my opponent. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out this Miraidon and Sceptile team in action. We got to pull off Dragon Cheer a couple of times today, and Miraidon just steamrolled through a lot of teams. We ended up playing up against Calyrex Ice Rider, 2 different Kyogres, and a Zamazenta. And outside of missing Draco Meteor into the Calyrex Ice Rider, the team had a relatively good time today in today's video. We made very quick work of both of the Kyogre teams. We also got to see an Ursaluna Bloodmoon go Terra Fairy, and thus we were able to just hit it with a guaranteed critical hit. Discharge, which just picked up the KO into that, as well as a Tornadus Therian. We also got to play up against Hisuian Gudra, which went for Terra Ground in front of Miraidon, only for Miraidon to hit it with Draco Meteor. And then on top of that, we had a Zamazenta trying to be clever, going Terra Dragon to take the Electro Drift, but that eventually didn't save it from another Draco Meteor. So despite what I was saying at the beginning of the video here, it worked out all right at the end of the day for the Draco Meteor. We only really missed it going up against the Calyrex Ice Rider team, and honestly, it probably just would have been the safer option to go for the Electro Drift, like I had said earlier, because Incineroar's Flare Blitz was going to do so much damage to the Terra Grass Calyrex. Anyways, we got to pull off Trick Room with Farigiraf here to help our matchup against one of the 2 different Kyogre teams, since my opponent's Kilowattrel was starting to outspeed things and doing a lot of damage. We were lucky that the Archaludon's Dragon Pulse didn't knock out Miraidon, and although Sceptile went down to a Hurricane on turn 1 to Kilowattrel, getting Farigiraf in and getting Trick Room up actually ended up paying off, since my opponent had gone for the Tailwind, and thus Miraidon was then able to underspeed Kyogre in the Trick Room and knock it out with the Electro Drift. So overall, I'm fairly happy about that. And then we also had that really close end game with my opponent that had the Zamazenta team, with the Scarf Chi-Yu locked into Dark Pulse and the Rillaboom staring down Sceptile and Miraidon. Thankfully, my opponent went for Dark Pulse into the Sceptile, and then Miraidon was then able to outspeed the Rillaboom and hit them both with a discharge, knocking them out and securing the deal, because I was kind of questioning whether or not the Chi-Yu was going to survive or not, depending on the IVs. Chi-Yu, despite being a little bit on the glassier side, on the physical side, it does have some respectable special defense, so I was kind of second guessing that, especially since we didn't have the electric terrain at that point, but thankfully Miraidon was able to seal the deal with that discharge. Overall, I think it was a pretty good time today with the team. Be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of Sceptile, if you've used it before in the past, and yeah, anything else, feel free to add that down in the comments. Anyways, I will see you next time.